Hi everyone and welcome. This is me, Noaksey, and this is vlog number 3. I know it's been a little while since I last actually brought a vlog out, but I thought it was very important for me to do one today because yesterday in the UK, around about 6 o'clock in GMT, we got the announcement of the Xbox One, and boy, what an announcement. It's quite a sad day when, as a gamer and a computer fan like myself, you look at a console and you think to yourself, there is no reason for me to buy it. I mean, granted, the original Xbox, the very first one that came out, which I would, say was the Xbox One, was really decent, and the games that came out were all innovative and really quite well thought out. I loved Halo when it first came out. I loved Halo 2. I loved a lot of the games that I was playing at the time. I was really big into the original Xbox. I still have my original controllers when I bought the initial console. In fact, when I bought the console, I bought it so early that I was actually given I think it was three free games and a controller or something like that, because we spent so much money on it unnecessarily. And this is what, of course, what Xbox did at the time, was go, right, you spent a lot of money, here you go, some free games, and thank you for being a customer and looking at our consoles and being happy with it. And then when they announced the 360, I was a bit overwhelmed by it because, the Xbox to me at the time was such a revolutionary product that I was like, how are they going to beat this? How are they going to do better? And then, in all fairness, they did. The details, the graphics, everything about it was amazing. But it really lacked in the innovation. It never really brought anything new to the plate. It just brought out brand new, the same games like Halo and Gears of War and everything else about it. It literally just repeated itself near enough constantly. All the releases were the same releases of the same games. Call of Duty, Modern Warfare, all those sort of things. It just continuously brought the same shit out. There was no uniqueness anymore. People don't even know how to make bloody games seriously anymore. Which is why a lot of the stuff I play is essentially going to be a lot of indie stuff for a while, because at least then they've given some thought about it and actually, made games and thought about how you play them, for God's sakes, and not all about how the face looks. I mean, I can really remember the first time I started playing Resident Evil, and when I played Final Fantasy 7, and I thought to myself, how amazing those graphics were, because it was almost 3D. They looked like people. I mean, now of course the graphics have gone so far past normality that people are starting to look flawless. I mean, even people with beards have like perfect beards. You don't get that in everyday life. You walk through the park, you don't see a man with a perfectly chiseled face and beard. Unless they're in Hollywood or something, you don't see it. So when they announced the Xbox One, I was thinking to myself, so what new games? What are they going to do to revolutionise the Xbox? What are they going to do to make me take the money I earn on my salary and invest it in a console where I feel like I've got something for my money? And they literally threw it back in my face. There was no uniqueness. There was no anything. They even compared the graphics to their other console, for God's sakes. Of course it's going to be better. It's a newer console.
At the time, the technology employed by the new engine allows us to take the visual fidelity of our models to a whole new level. This next generation head is modeled with multiple features represented: sub-D, high-resolution textures, subsurface skin shaders, multiple lights, and self-casting shadows. Here, you can see the dog model from Modern Warfare 3. Our new dog model is taken from high-resolution scans of an actual SEAL Team service dog. Every detail is replicated, right down to the scars on the nose and the tattoo inside the ear. When playing first-person action games, your character's arms are one of the most looked-at visual elements. The arms in MW3 were beautiful at the time, but the new engine allows for significantly increased texture resolution. This advancement in technology allows us to convey fine hairs, bruising, cuts, and even the dirt beneath the fingernails. Here's an example of a jungle environment from Modern Warfare 3.
It's no different! Jesus Christ! Makes me quite sad, because the only real console I actually want to play, and I mean in my hands play it, is a 3DS, for God's sakes! And it's a handheld! Even like the Wii U doesn't seem to be capturing my imagination right now. I'm quite keen to play Rayman Legends when that comes out, if it ever does come out, after taking it back and redoing it for all the other consoles that are out, despite the fact it was originally supposed to be just for the Wii U. It just really stresses me out. I don't know what people want anymore. If you're really, really that happy with the same games, just brought out and slightly better graphics, and you get a bigger gun or something, then fine. Be those sort of people. But don't really expect them to sell forever, because at some point you're going to have to really sit down and think to yourself, what next? What games can we release? What do people want? Because when you think about it, the most popular games at the moment are the ones that don't have the limelight anymore. And it's quite sad. And it really bothers me that people are more than happy to spend all their money on the same game with a different number at the end of the title. That's what you're getting. It's a different number. It's the same game. Gears of War, Call of Duty, same games over and over and over, recycled. And then once you're good at that game and you go on multiplayer and you play it and you kill anything that moves and breathes in the game and you go, right, I am now the best I know at this game. Then what? What do you do then? Oh, I know what. You go and buy the exact same game with a different title. Of course you do. That's exactly what you should do. Seriously. There is something definitely wrong with the gaming industry right now. So definitely not. No one really knows what they're doing anymore. And the people who have been playing games all their lives, like myself, since I was old enough to understand how to use a keyboard, we're the ones that are losing out. Because instead of the odd, well, let's look at it this way: when the Mega Drive came out, or the N64, or the NES, or the SNES, every single game was unique. Every single game was innovation, gameplay, playability, replayability. I remember once I didn't get all the Chaos Emeralds, and I actually had fun going back and trying to get them all. I played on it. I mean, Colours was fun. I'm not gonna lie, it was fun. But Sonic Heroes, I got bored. Like, immediately bored. I didn't understand the concept of having to tier people, having 3 people, and then only able to use one person for one section of the game, but they have to stay with you throughout the whole thing. It just didn't make any kind of sense to me. And they brought out Generations, and that was amazing, but then that's just taking the old game and just polishing it up a bit, and then changing some of the music to make it more relevant and sort of connect better with what you've done previously. It's just stupid. It's really upsetting to somebody like me when you have so much stuff, so many great developers up there that are just being used to make shit? I don't even know how they do it. I know obviously they want to keep their jobs, but if I was in that position and I knew for a fact I had something so unique and so different, so innovative with regards to how it works, and no one listened to what I had to say, I'd just go. I'd leave the job and I'd become an indie developer and I would do it myself. Granted, I'm not the kind of guy that's able to do that, because I don't have the imagination to be able to capture an audience with what I'm doing. But I've spoken to a number of people, a number of developers out there that are just incredibly good at what they do. Incredibly good. And they get no limelight, they get no recognition, and they still do it. Because they do it because they love games. And why are these people not in the industry? Why are they not making games for people? Why are they not doing the development for Xbox and PlayStation? Why don't they do it for them? Because the money is made in the recycled shit that you see on, coming out on consoles every quarter or half year. They seem to be spewing out this bull constantly. And then you ask yourself, why? Really? Just why? I mean, even playing Lemmings was less tedious than the shit they bring out at the moment. And that was the same game throughout the entire game. I don't know what to say. I just really hope that Sony and Xbox understand that when they remove backwards compatibility, when they remove functionality, when they recycle shit, it's not going to sell consoles. Granted, there are going to be a sparse thousands, 100,000 maybe, where they're so dedicated to the consoles and the franchises that they're going to buy the consoles so they can play the next franchise. But there's going to be a point where they're going to go, enough's enough. What can I do differently? What's the next step? And they're going to have to say, there isn't one. This is it. This is all you're getting. I am not looking forward to the Xbox One. I'm not looking forward to the PlayStation 4. And to say that as an avid console gamer who's been doing this for longer than he's been in any kind of job, or I've been playing games longer than I've probably known myself, if that makes any kind of sense. And for me to say I'm not looking forward to a console or to play games on a console is just depressing. Look, I'm going to leave you with this thought. When you come to considering what game to play or what console to buy, think back to those games that entertained you, made it fun. Wasn't about being on top of a leaderboard. It was about outsmarting the enemies. It's about working together with your fellow humans to try and outsmart the AIs. Think about those games and say, Where are they now? And then maybe, just maybe, enough of us will be heard for there to be at least a handful of decent games in the next couple of years. But until that day, I'm not going to be back console playing. Not for a long time. I mean, I've picked up my PSP recently and started playing that because at least those games are fun. That's, you know, you have to go back 5 years now, or however long ago it was, to play decent games. And in all fairness, you shouldn't have to do that to play a decent game. Anyway, that's my rant for the Xbox One. Thank you for listening. Sorry if I've upset any of you, but seriously, think about it. It makes sense. Until next time, I have been Noaksey. You, of course, have been awesome. Ciao.